Why did the vampire pull out?
Because they needed permission to come inside. Yeah, didn't look that up at all.
Totally
Uh,
looked that
totally looked that shit up.
up.
Oh man.
Buckshot mouthwash, baby.
Nice, bro. Yes.
I got 6.
You got 6, I got 5. I'll catch you up.
Okay, DayShift. Well, look, I'm gonna be real, guys. We totally just recorded the Prey, and we were harsh as fuck on it. And I'm gonna be honest, this is probably not gonna change much. However, this is a comedy, so it's different. It's a different tone, and I hate to say it, like I didn't love DayShift, but I think this is weird saying. I think I preferred it over the Prey.
Definitely, man. It was funny, dude. With some action, man. I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I thought they
It
could
was
have
funny,
explained. I thought they could have explained some more history on the vampires and their origins. But
dude. This is like a B-roll Blade movie.
totally, man. Totally. I
Like,
mean, Jamie Foxx, bro. To me, uh, why? Okay, even if you were a blue collar vampire hunter, okay, this is your day job. This is what you do, hence the movie Day Shift. But anyway, um, this is what you do for a living, and you know these vampires are fast as shit, okay? And
yeah,
spoiler alert, all the vampires are played by contortionists, if you didn't already know that. But anyway,
you find out quick. There's one chick you're just like, have I seen you? Never mind, I've seen you.
right? But why would you just go up in there, man, with a 5 round shotgun, in a 15 round magazine? Like, I've never seen this motherfucker
Well,
change a clip in the movie once.
yeah, and I'm gonna tell you this for real, dude. He needed that shotgun, and he probably would have done better with a higher mag capacity.
Yeah.
His accuracy with that pistol was absolutely dog shit for someone who had to make his own bullets. Imagine like you're making these special wooden silver bullets, and how much time you'd invest. You think you would be a little less, with those special bullets, but no, he like mag dumps like he'll get in a fight with a vampire, and Jamie's mag dumping it right in the chest.
Oh, dude, totally, bro. No,
Like,
not even hitting the heart. Obviously you need to hit the heart, and he's just right in the
right in the
side.
stomach, like right in the stomach. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like the top stomach area, but I don't know. So yeah, there's that, and he needed a shotgun because
I'm assuming that they were supposed to just go down, because it's garlic and shit, and never happened.
it was like
You know,
wood. It was like wood and
it's like,
silver,
what
and
was that? There's one scene in the film, man, where he's going into that house with the Russians, and he's literally chewing like some type of gum,
oh,
and
it was like garlic gum.
yeah, and he
Uh,
spits it in his
uh,
face and paralyzes the vampire. But it don't work for Jamie.
yeah, actually, there's a part where the brothers spit the gum to each other.
Yeah, yeah,
Like here, catch my gum, bro.
yeah.
Like
You got
it's
another
like
piece of gum.
yeah, and he caught it. He's like, oh, I was like, ah. Those two brothers were
Best part, bro.
hands down, hands down.
Best part of the movie, dude.
One had knives on his boots, bro. Like he had like double knife boots, and he was using them like better than any of them. Whenever someone pulls out knife boots, it usually doesn't go well.
No,
This dude knew how to use his knife boots.
totally, bro. He had one on the front and the back.
Yeah, and dude, he was like doing like he was b-boying on them. And it's sad that we're actually talking about this because this is like the best scene.
In the whole movie.
Yeah, it's these Russians.
I'm so sorry, but it was the best scene in the entire film.
It is, and it's yeah. I guess we'll talk about it too. Like, dude, Jamie Foxx gets his ass whooped really compared to the bros. The bros get it done.
Dude,
This poor guy gets his ass whooped.
So many times.
And in that fight scene where like the Russians, when they go in the house, like this dude should have been dead, but I mean it's Dave Franco, so he couldn't die yet.
Yet. Yeah.
Yeah, he couldn't die yet.
I mean, technically he doesn't die. I mean,
Yes, because when
he
you're a
does.
vampire, you're undead. She made the joke. She makes an undead
Yeah.
joke. I'm already.
Totally.
She was like, yeah, like the daughter or like the mom was like, I hope you die, and she's like, I'm already dead. And I was like, oh. And this is another one of those things. Like, dude, this movie has been made. So the comedic effect of it was the fun. I hate to say this because I said this about Willy's Wonderland. This is like more of a parody of a vampire movie than it is an actual vampire movie. Because it's like the story is so basic and plain, but it's more of just seeing like what Jamie Foxx and Dave Franco would do as a vampire hunting duo.
It's a story that's been made dozens of times, right? But the one thing that was interesting about this film, dude, is that there were multiple different types of vampires, but they don't really go into a lot of detail about their origins, or anything. And
They do a
that's
little bit in the dialogue, but that's like it's really brief. They just show that there's
Right.
knowledge of vampires.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, they didn't go into any real detail. They just kind of tell you the
They
different
tell you
types.
one thing: an uber vampire can survive with its head cut off. That's
Yeah.
all. That's all they tell you. So that's an important plot point because this guy loses his head at one point, which is hilarious, and he keeps it on. The only reason he was alive is because he got bit by an uber blood. So that's the one thing that knowledge, what I just dropped on you. That's all you need to know about vampires for this movie. Is there's a kind that gets its head cut off. Like they mentioned spider vampires.
Yeah,
I'm assuming those are the contortionist ones. I'm assuming.
it can't be, because the chick in that poster, bro, with the pink on, her daughter was the one that he kills at the beginning of the film,
And she's a Uber.
and she's an Uber.
Wow. So I scratched that, ignored that. All of them are contortionists. I do think scratched that entirely. But I know the European vampires are supposed to be the ones with the fangs up front, which
Yeah, like the Nosferatus.
yeah. So that was kind of like a shout out to Nosferatu, and yeah, they all kind of look the same. And the fact that you just said that about the spider ones,
What's they don't really explain
they
what.
don't. Well, they say in the house with the Russians, they say that there was a bunch of different vampires that wouldn't normally.
Which there shouldn't have been, because they don't nest together, so they shouldn't have all been in there.
Well, if they were supposed to be the same vampire. They don't nest with
Right.
other species because they're racist, and they believe that different species of vampires are more superior than others,
Right.
which is fascist. So fucking
Totally.
commies.
Yeah.
fucking communist vampires.
World War vampire.
Fucking
you know.
some damn Nazi vampires. But
I mean,
it's yeah, I kind of wish there was more deeper lore on the vampires. I agree, but no, you just kind of get like a small dialogue about it, and that's it.
yeah, and the movie, to me, man, it was totally entertaining. I do want to watch it again, but I just wish that they gave more info. I mean, it's your typical vamp movie, guys finds, in this film, he finds a day job and working and killing vampire. He keeps it from his family. What do you think's going to happen when you come across an elite
Actually,
vampire? It's like
They jump right past all that bullshit too. Like they pretty much go into like his wife's leaving him, going to take
Yeah.
the kid. The relationship's already over. He never has told them that he was a vampire hunter, and that's like the story is. Of course, they kidnap his daughter, they kidnap his wife, and now they gotta
Right.
go kill the hunt. Kill the biggest vampire. It's that story.
But it's like, what kind of person, okay, who lives in a day and age where a blue collar job is to hunt vampires, whether day shift or night shift, right? Well, you live in a world where vampires exist. You don't think that they're going to take over a lot of things in the world? I mean, come on. And then
they're so normalized to the point where there's a whole government division
right,
that's
called the
directed.
Union,
and which is international, an international vampire hunting syndicate, which means vampires are obviously international, and they made their place, they made their mark. So being a vampire hunter probably shouldn't be something that's needs to be hidden.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like it's so international. Why in the movie did they hide it? Why did he hide it from his wife, man? You know, if you
Right.
live in a world like that,
And through
I mean,
small
shit.
dialogue, like when he's getting hired at the unit, so there's a little pushback because apparently he has a dodgy past. Jamie Foxx does,
Mhm.
and one of the things they mention is him like going in and taking out a nest next to a school during the day with children. You know, so I mean, he doesn't sound like he was quiet with it previously.
No. Sounds
So-
like he was very off the rails, you know what I mean?
Gung ho enough to get suspended and all that shit. So
Yeah.
they only give us a little bit to do that in the story. I was under compelled. Jamie Foxx had a couple of cool stuff, but not really, dude. Like his special move is a silver wire that I've never seen him put up.
Yeah, you never watch. Well, you see him putting it up one time, and that's in the very first scene where he
Okay.
goes into the house, and he literally before he starts checking everything, he puts that up in the doorway, and that's the only time you see him put it up. But seriously, his secret weapon is a silver piece of type of razor wire, you know, and don't get me wrong, it's a pretty dope idea. Definitely a dope idea, especially if you're fighting something 10 times faster than you, but it's like, bro, I think they just killed his vibe, bro, because he's the star of the movie, okay? Jamie Foxx is the star of the movie. And then once they introduced those two Russian dudes, you're like, why aren't these guys the stars of the movie? You know,
Well,
they totally fucked it
their
up.
yeah, their action, their how equipped they were. They each had multiple melee weapons, you know, and like Jamie Foxx just had a machete and a shotgun
You're right.
and a pistol.
And then his partner was Snoop Dogg, bro. I mean, come on, you can't
Briefly,
smoke.
You can't
Yeah,
even
you-
say he was his partner. Dave Franco was more of his partner, but Snoop Dogg kind of was like the veteran vampire hunter who got him back on the crew.
On the Union. Dave Franco was his auditor. You know, he was basically auditing. Oh well, we got to get this motherfucker out because the guy that was running the Union didn't want Jamie Foxx in. So I mean,
Which didn't make
I-
sense because
I just-
you
but-
didn't have to hire him.
at the last scene, you know, where you see them go into the cave of vampires, bro. This is what would completely. I was just like, this is ridiculous. So he walks into a pretty much a mall full of familiars, right? These guys aren't vampires; they're just humans who work with the vampires because they want to eventually be a vampire.
Yeah.
And dude, he's getting unloaded on, bro. And all you got is a 5-round shotgun and a 15-round clip pistol. Dude, there's so many times he should have been dead just in that one scene. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there's that whole plot armor thing. Yeah, Jamie Foxx, he's not efficient with his pistol. As we're saying, he mag dumps and everything, so his pistol's fairly useless. He tries to sell it at one point in the movie, and I know why. It's because it's fairly useless.
Well, he actually wanted to keep it. The pawn shop owner was like, "It's a really badass pistol. I want it." And I'm just like,
Well,
and I don't know this for a fact, man, but I think that's a model Shadow Systems MR920. And I could be wrong on that, but looking at that pistol, you know, me being a gun guy, I really think that that's an MR920, which is basically a cloned Glock. You know, it's just a Glock clone, aka the Gucci Glock. But
and he wanted to sell it for like $1,500.
yeah, and I just the pistol's good in real life, but I mean, in the movie, they if you're trying to advertise that, man, you totally fucked up.
Yeah, well,
Not
I
a
mean,
good advertisement.
like I said, it was useless.
Yeah, it was totally useless. The Russian guys, man, the reason why I thought the whole movie was going great, and then once they introduced the Russian guys in that house scene, bro, it completely went to shit for me because don't get me wrong, the comedy was still funny. You know, I still enjoyed the film, but I felt like they should have had that scene in the end of the movie. But they threw Snoop Dogg in that scene, which was fine too. But they totally should have brought the Russians back, bro.
Snoop is there for a novelty. His
Yeah,
look, Snoop is a legendary, iconic rapper. Fucking smoke blunnies and stuff, whatever. Look, I like Snoop. I think it's funny, especially the shit he does for like young competitive NFL players and stuff like that. Like he's very team driven, and he helped a lot of people succeed. He's a great mentor, but he was not a great actor in this movie.
no, and dude, I grew up listening to Snoop, bro.
Yeah,
And you know, Snoop's been in his own fair share amount of films, but in this film, what I'm saying is that if they were going to introduce those Russian dudes and then be that badass, they completely stole the show from Jamie Foxx and Snoop, bro. So it's like once I saw those guys, I was like, man, I hope I see them again. You know, and you don't, but it's like the best they can give you is Snoop and Fox, and it's like it just didn't do it for me, man. It was like the action became mediocre, bro. You had that dope ass scene where shit was real, you know, and these
what it
dudes
was
are
is you had people who were willing to get in there and learn and do choreograph and stunt work, whereas you could tell Jamie Foxx and Snoop didn't really want to put in that time, so they gave them novelty things. Like they gave Snoop a minigun, and he just walks through and clears a bunch of people with a minigun. Cool, but not cool. It's we've already seen that in many movies. You know,
yeah,
Jamie Foxx, dude, you're just a gun-toting dude. But that's the thing is, you're not even accurate with your shots. So you don't even have
right,
you don't even have like a John Wick appeal where this dude's so good with the gun he can drop a vampire with 2 shots, pop pop. You know,
right,
like, you don't even have that going for you. So you're not like mastery proficient at your weapons. And then you compare 2 Russian characters who are far more proficient with every weapon they have, and they each have like a variety of very interesting weapons. And all we
right.
got is 2 guns, a machete, and a silver wire.
Which keep in mind, bro. And this is totally off this topic, but I got to point this out because I keep looking at Franco in the background. He was the bitchest character in the whole film, dude. Comedy was great, but he was the weakest link. And then all of a sudden, he gets bit by a vampire and knows jujitsu times 100.
Dude, that's
Like master martial artist. I was like,
that thing.
what?
Yeah.
What?
So, for reference, this guy pissed himself twice because he was so terrified. They did the pee on yourself bit 2 times, and then for a 3rd time, there was like, hey, like he turned into a vampire, and then like my cousin said, he just learned jujitsu, learned how to do flying kicks, and learned his taekwondo, and apparently learned how to master his travel of energy because he got bit, and now he's an excellent fighter who helped take down one of the big boy vampires. Yeah, all within a couple hours of being bit. Actually, within a couple hours of getting his head back on. Yeah. And another thing on that, so he gets turned into a vampire, and then mentions that he's a field cop now. So at the end of the movie, this vampire is now part of the Union of Vampire Slayers.
Right.
I guess. And Jamie Foxx accepts it, even though he mentions earlier in the movie that vampires are nothing but dollar signs.
Yeah.
So
and see, they introduce another vampire who's supposedly good, and she's his next door neighbor. She's Jamie Foxx's next door neighbor. And when he finds out that she's a vampire, you know, she's trying to make conversation with him while they're in a little, you know, fight scene. But it's like, okay, if Jamie Foxx was the character he claimed to be, you know, he just is dollar signs all day, you know, but he doesn't kill the vampires.
Well,
he decides that these 2 can live, and it's like,
yeah, these are special vampires.
But your character's not.
Well, and they're. I'll play onto this too.
Excuse me.
Franco still hadn't killed a human yet at this point. The only blood he fed on was blood fed to him by another good vampire, I guess. So basically,
he's
this
fed
is
off the blood bank.
But yeah, all in all, Dave Franco is White Blade.
Yeah.
Now, so the sequel to DayShift, this is White Blade. Kind of.
And the whole movie takes premise on this queen vampire you see here with the pink on.
Yeah, this
and
lady.
she's trying to make a cure for vampirism to where they can walk in the daylight, be day walkers. So
Blade.
right, and there's a scene where the Russians kick ass in this house, and they make a joke, where one of the last vampire runs out and he's like, "Oh, familiar," and they all scream familiar, and then they shoot him in the back, and then he gets up in broad daylight and runs out. And they're like, "Oh yeah, they've been using this suntan lotion that doesn't wear off for like 24 hours," and it's like, but she's trying to make a cure for their nighttime, I mean their daytime issues, right? To where they can walk in the day, they can be day
Yeah.
walkers. So it's like, wait, so you're telling me you have a sunscreen that can last 24 hours, which is all you need. And now you're trying to make something else.
More than what you need, about 12 hours over what you need.
Right.
Well, dude, the whole thing with this movie too is like, yeah, that's a thing, but it's not. It's not even a thing. Like once they get her daughter and stuff, the main concern in the movie is that he gets his daughter back. Like they don't give
Yeah.
a fuck about the sunscreen. Now maybe
No.
maybe Day Shift 2 this will explain some shit, or maybe it explains how she was out in the sun, but she was out in the sun and out from under her umbrella she still got burned. So
Knowing
this
Netflix, this will probably get a sequel.
yeah, well the whole sunscreen thing is completely irrelevant.
They only mention it. They don't really go into any
that's
detail about
that's
it.
that's the problem with it is they mention it more than once. They mention it like it's a serious plot point, but
Yeah.
it was never really a part of the main story.
No, because the main characters don't give two fucks about it, bro. They don't know anything about it.
And like this character, the queen, the one who's supposed to be running this vampires can run out during the day because I made the sunscreen. She was out in the sun with a black umbrella, and when she put her hand out in the sun, she got burned and put her hand back. So even the queen, who can make this suntan lotion, doesn't even use it. So, whatever. It really is a thing where they did harp on it. They brought it up multiple times, and it really, in the end of the movie, it had no reference. There was no reason for it.
It had no relevance. Yeah, they just completely disregarded it because Jamie Foxx kills her daughter, right? Which she turned into her daughter. She turned her daughter into a vampire when she was an older woman.
Yep.
So
that's the beginning of the movie.
And that's the beginning of the movie, and it's like she walks in to say hi to her daughter and finds out her daughter's dead, and all of a sudden it's just, okay, we need to find out who did this and kill them. So it's a typical action plot point, and
It's like a gang movie mixed with vampires. So she sets out the hit. El Chapa vampire set out the hit for this guy, Bud. They find him. They get his family. He goes and gets it back. Story's not that complicated. Now,
yeah, it's not very in depth at all.
I didn't come for the story though. Luckily for Jamie Foxx and Snoop Dogg, I came for the vampire hunting and killing, and I saw a little bit of that. And dude, a lot of these contortionists, though they're contortionists, a lot of these vampires got folded like a WWE fucking chair. Like,
Which is why they chose contortionist.
these motherfuckers, yeah, they were getting folded. That was fun to watch. I enjoyed it for what it was. It just made me want a real Blade movie. That's all I want now. It's like a legit Vampire Slayer movie. But
yeah, I mean, I just wish they would have gone a little bit more into detail about the other vampires. I wish they would have had a little bit more action, man, because the story wasn't that fucking great. I mean, this is one of those. Oh, totally, man. This is one of those movies where they should have had more action on that aspect than story, because there's a little bit of story that they do give you. It just doesn't really add up.
Well, that's kind of the bad thing here. Like, dude, Jamie Foxx is a great actor for many roles, and he wasn't even necessarily a bad one for this one, but his character wasn't badass to me.
No, dude, the Russians fucking stole the show, bro. That's what I'm saying. They should have introduced him at the last bro. Instead of them going into the house and hunting that nest with Jamie Foxx, they should have
Helped
been
fight.
rolling up on that mall at the end of the film, bro.
Yeah.
You know, then Snoop Dogg wouldn't have got trapped down there.
You wouldn't have had to
Bit.
kill. Yeah, you wouldn't have had to kill Snoop. You could have kept him alive and tucked
He's,
away.
he was alive, bro. He stayed alive. At the end of the film, he comes out of the sewer, you know, with a blunt in his mouth, of course, you know, Snoop. And he's fucking walks down the street. And like, so in the film, bro, they show him die. Well, they don't show him die, but
Yeah.
they give you the idea that he dies. He opens up his jacket. He's got this
He
huge
pulls an
UV
ISIS.
bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he's like, boom. You hear the boom. So you assume he's dead, and then he's not dead, but he gets bit by a vampire. So that's one of the things that I didn't get, because he got bit. So he's
He's gonna be the DayShift 2 villain, I guess. Is gonna be Vampire Snoop.
right. It's like, did he turn? Because they don't. He comes out the sewer. It's still nighttime. He like sparks up a fucking doobie, and then he goes on about his day, bro. You know, it's like, did he turn? Like, he got bit.
He did get
You
bit.
know, James Franco turned, and Jamie Foxx literally cut his head off within 2 minutes.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, okay, he showed that if he gets hungry, he'll just rage and go after any person nearby. So Jamie Foxx knows that if this dude gets hungry, James Franco, he's a threat, but he still keeps him alive. I guess for the purpose of the movie. But it's hard to like criticize a movie like this, because for what it is, it's good. It's a comedy vampire movie. It's a buddy cop vampire movie.
Yeah, pretty much, man. It's entertaining. I enjoyed it. I think they totally should have did some more with the Russians, because those dudes just fucking kicked ass, bro.
I would watch that movie.
If they came out with the Day Shift 2 and got rid of Snoop and Jamie,
The Russians need to be named Overtime,
overtime,
because they work night shift. And
I'd
day
be with
shift.
that.
They
I'd
work
be
night
with
shift
that,
and
bro.
day shift, bro.
Like, dude, if those dudes fucking if they made a movie with just those two, I'm watching. And dude, those two guys weren't even like. I mean, one of them I've seen
Their
in a lot
Russian
of
accents
movies.
actually sucked.
Yeah, they were horrible, bro. But it's a comedy, right? So they're not supposed to be perfect.
No,
But I mean,
but their action and their characters was enough to be like, I would watch them, and they were like joke characters too. That's the funny part. They're like eating each other's gum, doing nasty shit.
yeah,
You know,
they just. You were not expecting them to walk in that house and do what they did. You were like, these motherfuckers are gonna get killed.
Dude, they went full savagery, and it was sick. And
They
it's
had
so
the
sick
best
that we
fight
brought it
scenes.
up again. Yeah. There's so many. There's a goofy chase scene with the girl in the car and stuff. There's a lot of goofy stuff. But dude, it's a buddy cop vampire movie, and it is a comedy. So as weird as this sounds, the last video we did with the Prey, like this felt better for the genre it was. And I hate to say this, but I think Day Shift was a better movie than the Prey.
Dude, I thoroughly, like I said, man, Prey was entertaining, but Day Shift it kept me interested, right?
It kept me
It's
laughing. It kept me smiling.
It was just an all-around good, humorous movie, man, you know? And I kind of like horror comedies, dude, when they mix a little horror with the comedy, bro. It lightens the mood a little bit. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was a good movie.
I agree.
They could totally have touched on some more things, but I mean, ultimately,
Hey, look, I'm being harsh. I'm being harsh on Jamie here because, dude, you're coming from Django, bro.
right?
Fucking Django Unchained is one of my favorite movies because it has Christopher Waltz in it. Christopher Waltz is one of I have a weird obsession with that man.
Dude, Django was a great movie, bro.
And
It was a great movie.
I couldn't imagine anyone else playing Django other than Jamie Foxx. Like he nailed the role, he did it, but he's Ice Cube could have done this. Is he still Ice Cube or is he Ice-T now? I don't know. Ice-T is the dude in like NCIS or some shit.
Law and Order.
Law and Order. Thank you. You know your shit. But no, like Ice Cube could have done this. Really, it's good.
It was good, man. I enjoyed it. I recommend it. I probably gonna give it at least a 6.5. It
Yeah,
was
yeah. Don't expect to be wowed by this. No, I'm
no,
gonna
it,
admit I'm a little tired. It's like 12:30 at night. So don't let my enthusiasm discourage. It's not a terrible movie. It's free on Netflix. Just
go
watch it.
check it out, dude. For
It's
real,
not,
you won't. You're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. But I mean,
dude.
we
If
didn't we
if
didn't
you're
love it. We
chilling,
didn't hate it. We thought it was definitely, man. It's one of those
definitely
movies
didn't
you're
love
gonna sit
it.
back.
Yeah,
You're
just
gonna
watch it.
you're
Just
gonna
chill.
sit back with your homies, man. Spark one up, drink a
Maybe, yeah.
beer.
Fall
I
or
mean,
throw it on to fall asleep too, because it's really not that
yeah,
scary. I don't know about you
right.
guys, man. I can fall asleep
Order
to
a
comedy
pizza.
horrors. Or yeah, shit.
I
Actually,
mean,
dude, this is the perfect movie that if you're gaming, throw up on the second monitor. It's and let it
right.
play in the background. When something interesting happens, you can stop and look, because there's a lot of it you can skip and be fine. But all in all, yeah, you said a 6.5. I don't want to be an asshole here. I think I'll give it a 6.5 too, because
Yeah, it was
it's the
entertaining, man. It
genre.
was good.
It's a horror comedy, buddy cop movie. Like it did
Like,
its job.
I'm not a huge Jamie Foxx fan. I do like him in some of the movies that he has done. Um, but in this movie, man, I feel like I've seen this Jamie Foxx in other movies. It wasn't like he really got into a deep character role. It was just fucking Jamie Foxx killing vampires, bro. You want to see Jamie Foxx kill some vampires? Go watch DayShift. That's what it is. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, no, that's it. And hey, dude, if you fucking love Jamie Foxx, because by the way, you know Jazzy. Of course, you know
Mhm.
Jazzy. You know Jasmine. She fucking loves some Jamie Foxx. That's a sex
Yeah.
god to her. She's ooh for some Jamie Foxx. So I know she'll watch it just because his beautiful chin is in it.
Yeah.
And like that's the kind of role like he has though. He does have a fan base where people are gonna watch it because Jamie Foxx is in it. And if you're one of those people, you're gonna love this movie because Jamie Foxx is Jamie Foxx in this movie.
One of the things, man, I want to speak on is Dave Franco reminds me a lot of his brother.
Oh
All
yeah.
right, James Franco. Like even his acting style is like I'm watching a younger version of James. You know what I'm saying?
There's some things that actually like it's almost that it's like you're kind of saying about Jamie Foxx. Dave Franco can only play Dave Franco. He plays it. He is his character. He can't change his character much. His character stays this guy. You see him, he's that guy, and he's lovable. So like that's why he. I don't want to say like he's like as a guy he's like not threatening. He's not like he's not a Zac Efron. Okay, like if Zac
Right.
Efron was here, it'd be a different. You'd be like, why is Pretty Boy here? But he's like a pretty boy, but he's always playing the character of like I can't quite get in. I'm just he's just not quite making the cut, and he's funny.
Right.
He's relatable, and it's like I'm cool with him. I'm cool with his performance. His older brother needs to stay off Tinder, but
Right.
for
stop, stop messing with the young girls, James.
yeah, fuck off,
All right.
James. Stop fucking with Dave's friends here. All right. So sorry.
It's so true though.
Yeah, stop fucking with Dave's friends. Fucking, but no, Dave Franco's awesome. And yeah, he's himself in this. He's not really amazing. But
I don't, dude. I don't feel like anybody got into like a serious character role, right?
Nobody
Like
actually
Snoop,
the mom.
Snoop, yeah.
The mom of the daughter had the most fucking like you could see the emotion in her. Like
Yeah. She probably had the most character,
yeah.
but I mean Snoop Dogg was Snoop Dogg.
He was Snoop Dogg.
Jamie Foxx was Jamie Foxx. Dave
Jamie
Franco
Foxx
was
Dave.
Dave.
Dude, actually,
Like
I
the,
really like this chick. I throw in the name Future Me because I did like her.
Right.
For some reason, when she was on screen, I couldn't stop looking at her face. Like I don't know if it's something about her eyebrows or what. And then she'd have like this little Spanish accent every now and then. And I'm like, I don't know what it is about this chick, but when she's on screen, she has my attention.
yeah.
Like, so I
But
liked her as well. She was good.
They showed and at the end credit scenes, it should not have been like Bud as Jamie Foxx. It should have been Jamie Foxx as Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, they should.
You know what I
He
mean?
should have just been Jamie.
Yeah, it's like, but I enjoyed the movie, man. It was good. I still want to know if Snoop's gonna be a vampire.
It is. Night Shift is gonna be them hunting Snoop, and then overtime is going to be the Russians doing their thing because they work day shift and night shift, baby.
Oh yeah, dude, they fucking totally kicked ass. Man, and they explained they touched on this just a little bit in the film. Because when they were trying to get Jamie Foxx, when Snoop was trying to recruit Jamie Foxx back into the union, he requested to work night shift. And, of course, the union, manager was like, no, you're going to be on day shift. Like, that's a punishment, right? But in all actuality, it's more of an advantage because vampires can't come out in the day.
Well, that's the thing is, like, only the big bad boys walk at night,
Right.
Only people can handle the night shift.
But there's only one scene in the movie when they go out at night and hunt. And it's like, Jamie Foxx being Jamie Foxx, it's like, they introduced his character hunting in the daytime. He's cleaning a pool. I'm going to go kill this vampire that owns this fucking house and this pool. But it's like, it's not until the end of the film where you see him do the first night shift. All throughout the film, bro, he's hunting during the day.
Yeah.
And then he was mad because they put him on the day shift. It's like...
Right. But, even though he was hunting during the day anyway.
Right. And before you leave him back...
Yeah, they don't say anything about, like, whether nighttime makes more money. I guess maybe because more vampires come out. I don't know. Because day shift, you have to come pull them out their nests and stuff. It's probably more taxing. So maybe he might see night shift as a little easier because there's more and he needs money. But I don't see why you couldn't work night shift anyway and go collect those teeth regardless.
Right. And another thing, man, is how long has he been hunting vampires? Because he obviously couldn't tell an elder from a young, you know what I'm saying?
He
it's
doesn't
like
know the value of his own teeth.
Yeah, and that just tells me how you haven't been doing this very long, buddy, because you don't even know.
Right. And
they should have given more info on this on the backstory of these
like
guys.
You said,
and
dude,
shit.
the story sucked. Okay, like the reason this is hard for us is like we like to dissect things. Example with the Prey, dude, there was so much that we could dissect and be like, well, these stories don't line up, and this doesn't corroborate with this. With this, you got nothing, dude. They give you shit. And basically, you just gotta watch it for what it is, and just enjoy the cinematography, enjoy the fights, enjoy the vampire moments, because that's what this movie is. It's not a good story. The story sucks ass, and even the way this chick dies sucks ass. It's
totally fucking sucks.
Look, Hollywood, you got to get really good at killing off fucking villains quick, because Jesus Christ. Like
my only thing, man, is if you could move as fast as she was moving, don't you think you would have seen that?
She could have killed him. She could have killed him like a million times in their fight.
I don't know how she didn't, like, every time she was super kicking this motherfucker and he was flying across the room, he didn't get hurt.
Yeah, dude. No. There was one time where she kicked him in the head and he did like 4 spins.
Right.
I immediately was like, dude, your vertebrae's fucked.
Yeah.
Like, you're not getting up,
like,
bro.
Any other movie, bro, that his head would have been in the back of his neck. Like it just would have been all the way in the back.
Dude, she would have soccer kicked that shit off. It would have just, and the head would have went flying. But plot armor.
Totally plot armor.
Well, of course, it's the main character. So Day Shift, go watch it if you want to. It's pretty good. It's a buddy cop vampire movie. Don't expect this to be an Oscar winner. It's not.
No, totally not. But it is entertaining. Get your homies together, man. Get a couple beers, order a pizza, watch some Day Shift, man. You'll enjoy it.
Yes, and maybe watch The Prey after if you want to have a bad day.
Yeah,
but
totally.
All right, guys. Later.
Take it easy, man. Peace.
Deuces.